I let my in-laws stay with us after they lost their home. Within weeks, they'd moved my clothes to the guest room, taken over our bedroom, and changed our Wi-Fi password. My wife said she didn't want to make waves. So I did, starting with the utilities. I didn't grow up with much. Every dollar I've ever earned came from hard work. I worked 2 jobs through my 20s, saved every cent, and when my credit finally allowed it, I bought us this house. It's nothing huge, just a 3-bedroom in Plano, but it's ours. Or at least I thought it was. My wife, Dana, and I had been married 7 years. We had our share of ups and downs, like any couple, but we made things work. Her parents lived a few hours away, and we saw them during holidays, which I could tolerate. They've always been kind of overbearing, especially her mom, but it wasn't my place to pick a fight. Then came the phone call. Her dad's business had failed. They were 2 months behind on the mortgage and on the verge of losing the house. Dana was crying, begging me to let them stay just for a little while until they got back on their feet. I didn't want to say yes. I knew what kind of people they were, but I couldn't say no without looking like the bad guy. So I agreed. They moved in 2 days later. The first night, I came home from work and her mom was already redoing the living room. She'd taken down the pictures Dana and I had picked out and replaced them with her own framed floral prints. "These feel more homey," she said. I bit my tongue. It was just decoration. Next came the kitchen. Suddenly, my mugs were gone. My cast iron skillet was boxed up and replaced with her nonstick favorites. The fridge was filled with stuff I'd never eat. Every shelf in the pantry had a label. I couldn't find anything. "It's more efficient this way," her mom said. Week 2. I came home and my clothes were no longer in the master bedroom. My drawers were empty. My bathroom products had been shoved into a plastic tub and moved. I thought maybe Dana was reorganizing or doing laundry. But when I walked into the guest room, I saw everything. My shirts, my ties, even my shaving kit, neatly arranged like a hotel setup. My pillow was on the guest bed. I confronted Dana immediately. "Why are my clothes in the guest room?" She looked away. They needed more space. Mom's back is bad, and they need the attached bathroom. So now they're just taking over our room? She winced. "It's only for a little while. Please don't make this into a thing." That was the moment I knew she'd chosen them. I stopped feeling like a husband and started feeling like a tenant in my own home. The final straw came a week later. I was working from home, and suddenly I lost connection during a Zoom call. I tried everything. Restarted the modem. Rebooted my laptop. Nothing. I finally checked the router in the hallway and saw a sticky note with a new Wi-Fi name and password. I typed it in. It worked. Later that night, I asked Dana if she'd changed it. She said no. Her dad chimed in from the living room. "Oh yeah, I updated it. The old one wasn't secure." I stared at him. "You changed the Wi-Fi without asking me." He laughed. "What's the big deal? It's just the internet." I looked at Dana, waiting for her to back me up. She just said, "It's not worth fighting about." I went into the guest room that night and stared at the ceiling, just stewing. I couldn't believe this was my life. I'd worked so hard for this house, this marriage, this peace, and now I was the outsider. That's when I started planning. The next morning, I logged into our Xfinity account. I canceled the cable package. Her dad would soon find nothing but static and reruns. Then I went into our electric provider's portal and took off autopay. If they wanted to crank the AC down to 68 all day, they could explain the overdue bill when it arrived. I set the thermostat to eco mode and locked it with a pin. Then I shut down all smart devices and changed the passwords on the Google Home system. I wasn't done, but I wanted to see how they'd react first. The next few days were quiet. Too quiet. Her dad spent the whole morning pacing the living room, trying to figure out why the TV wasn't working. He kept saying things like, "Must be a bad signal," and "These providers are all garbage." I sat at the kitchen table, sipping my coffee, acting clueless. Dana glanced at me a few times, like she knew but didn't want to say it. By the second day, he was irritable. "Why is it so hot in here?" he asked. "This stupid thermostat won't let me change the temperature." I just shrugged. "Probably a glitch. You should call the landlord." He didn't laugh. Dana confronted me that night. "Did you do something to the cable and the thermostat?" I didn't lie. "Yeah, I did." Her eyes widened. "Why would you do that?" "Because I'm done living like a stranger in my own house," I said. "They took her bedroom. They moved my stuff. He changed the Wi-Fi password. You didn't say a word. So I'm setting boundaries." She looked like she wanted to cry. "They're my parents. And I'm your husband." She didn't say anything. The next day, her mom came to me in the kitchen while I was making coffee. She had that tight-lipped smile she always wore when she was about to insult someone politely. "We noticed the utilities have been acting up. Maybe this house just isn't big enough for all of us." I looked her dead in the eye. "You're right. It's not." That night, I locked the guest bathroom door with a key lock I installed earlier that day. They now had to ask to use the restroom. Petty? Maybe. But so was moving my underwear and taking my bedroom. Then came the text messages from Dana's sister. "You're being unfair," she wrote. "They're old. They needed help. What kind of man treats his in-laws like this?" I didn't reply. 2 days later, Dana came home from work and told me her parents were really uncomfortable and were thinking of leaving. I said, "Good." She just stared at me. "Are you trying to push them out?" "I'm trying to get my house back." That night, I noticed her mom was crying in the kitchen. Her dad was pacing again. Dana barely said a word to me. I could feel the tension vibrating through the walls. Then things escalated. Her dad approached me the next morning while I was getting ready for work. He stood in the hallway, blocking my way. "You want us out," he said. "Be a man and say it." So I did. "I want you out. You've disrespected me, my home, and my marriage. You crossed a line." He glared at me, his hands clenched. "We raised her better than this." "No," I said. "You raised her to put your comfort above her own husband's." That night, Dana slept on the couch. I didn't ask her to. She just did. The next morning, I called a locksmith and had the front door rekeyed. I told Dana I'd give her parents until Sunday to find another place. She didn't speak to me the rest of the day. But the damage was already done. This wasn't just about her parents anymore. It was about what she allowed. By Thursday, I had a new lock on the front door, a hard deadline in place, and a wife who wouldn't look me in the eye. I thought the hardest part was behind me. I figured they'd leave with some tears and dramatic comments, maybe guilt-trip Dana a little more. But I underestimated just how entitled they really were and how far Dana was willing to go to protect them. That night, after a late shift, I came home and found the guest room completely empty. No suitcases. No signs of them. At first, I felt relief. Then I walked down the hall and saw our bedroom door locked from the inside. I knocked. No answer. I knocked harder. Dana opened it slowly, eyes red like she'd been crying for hours. Her parents were sitting on the bed. My bed. Her dad looked smug. Her mom looked exhausted. Dana said quietly, "They're staying in here until we figure out a better solution." I was stunned. A better solution? What the hell does that mean? Her dad interrupted. "You're being unreasonable. We're not going to let you bully us out." I looked at Dana. "You gave them our room back?" "After everything." She didn't respond. That night, I didn't just sleep in the guest room. I packed a bag and stayed at a hotel. The next day, I came back to grab a few things for work. When I walked in, I noticed something new on the kitchen counter, a copy of a lease agreement. It had my name, Dana's, and, unbelievably, her parents'. Dana said it was just temporary, and that a lawyer friend helped draft it. "It's symbolic," she said, "to make them feel safe." I couldn't believe it. Not only had I lost my bedroom and my home, now they were trying to legally wedge themselves into it. I didn't speak. I just walked out, drove straight to a nearby Starbucks, opened my laptop, and logged into my mortgage account. My name. Only my name. Then I checked our joint bank account. That's when I found it. A $3,000 transfer from our savings to an account I didn't recognize. When I asked Dana, she said, they needed help with a deposit for an apartment in case they move out. No conversation. No agreement. Just took it. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't just about comfort anymore. They were planning something long-term. I made 2 calls that afternoon, one to a real estate attorney and the second to my older brother, who's a cop in Frisco. Because if they wanted to make this a legal battle, I was ready to return the favor. I met with the real estate attorney the next day. I laid everything out, the bedroom takeover, the fake lease, the Wi-Fi stunt, the unauthorized money transfer, all of it. He asked one question, "Is your wife on the deed?" "No," I said. "Just me." He leaned back and nodded. "Then they don't have a leg to stand on. This is still your house." With that confirmed, we moved quickly. First, I drafted a formal eviction notice for her parents. The lawyer helped ensure it was airtight, giving them 14 days to vacate or face legal removal. He even filed a cease and desist regarding the lease. It wasn't legal, just a scare tactic. But I wasn't about to be intimidated in my own home. Then I changed every password to every online account, Wi-Fi, bank, utilities. I moved the rest of our joint money into a personal account and froze the shared one. Dana noticed within hours. You emptied the account. You gave away $3,000 without asking. They needed it, and I needed a wife who had my back. That night, she slept at her sister's place. She took her overnight bag and didn't come home for 2 days. When the 14-day notice hit, her parents acted shocked. Her dad called me a child. Her mom begged Dana to talk sense into me. I didn't budge. I forwarded all texts straight to my lawyer. Then came the blowback. Dana's sister went nuclear on social media, calling me heartless, abusive, controlling. Some mutual friends took her side, but I stayed quiet. I didn't need to explain myself. On day 12 of the eviction window, Dana finally came back home. She asked to talk. I never wanted to pick sides, she said. They were desperate. No, I said. You picked them the moment you let them move me out of our bedroom. She cried, said she didn't know how to fix it. I told her she had 2 choices. Rebuild this marriage from a place of respect and boundaries, or follow her parents out the door. She didn't answer. The next morning, I came home from work and the house was quiet. Their car was gone. So was hers. No note. No goodbye. Just silence. That week, I replaced the bedroom lock. Got a new mattress. Took every one of their stupid framed floral prints and dumped them in the trash. I painted the guest room, moved my things back into the master, and reopened the bank account in my name only. 2 weeks later, I got divorce papers. Served at work, no less. She was asking for spousal support, half the house, and reimbursement for marital sacrifices. I forwarded everything to my attorney. 2 months later, we were in court. The judge asked one thing. Who was on the deed? Me, I said. And that was that. She got nothing. Her parents moved into a cheap rental in Denton. I heard from a mutual friend that her dad had to go back to working retail. Dana's working 2 jobs, staying with her sister, and still telling people I blindsided her. I don't care. Because now, every time I walk into my house, close my bedroom door, and sit in peace, I remember they tried to take my home, my dignity, and my marriage. They got nothing. And I got everything back. On my terms.